Okay, so recording has started, and yeah. So if you want to download Figma, it's not very hard. Just go to www dot oh, see me writing 4 W's figma.com, figma.com, and basically you can download from here. It's very easy. The same with Adobe XD. Adobe XD could be a little tricky, so you can always find a way to download it. I mean, these things are everywhere. Okay, so this thing is not showing me what I want. It's just wanting me to log in. I need to go to figma.com. All right. Okay. This thing showing me my profile. Let's just do it like this. Just go to download Figma. Download Figma. And yes, you can use. What did you say? Okay. Okay. You are seeing my. Okay, let me just switch tabs. Let me just stop presenting. Thank you for drawing my attention to that. Thank you so much. Let me just my entire screen. That should work. Okay. Um, you should see my screen now then. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much for drawing my attention to that. Okay, so what I did was just go to Chrome and I typed download Figma. Yes, so you can just see, click on the first one here. This is by Soft Tonic. Just go to Figma's website and download from there. I feel that works best. Just click on that. When you click on that, you can see get started for free. You can use Figma on the web or you can download the application. That's the desktop app, right? You can do either of the two. You can just go to figma.com, create an account, and start working on Figma on Chrome, or download this thing. So you can see here, download. Okay, so this is the desktop app for Mac OS or for Windows. I use Windows, so I downloaded this. I do also have the mobile applications. Now the mobile applications are not solely for designing; they are basically to help you monitor your design on the go, something like that, and help you check comments from your stakeholders and things like that. So yes, we also have font installers. Those are just like I should not be saying that. Like, you don't need to get that advanced here, but then basically that's it. So sorry for the mirror. Okay, so we can go back to Figma. So if you download your Figma, you can just sign up and get started. Right. So this is my Figma page. I just created a new Figma page. So I'm just going to be running you through the basic things we use in Figma. So this is our canvas, right? This is our canvas. You can zoom in and zoom out. You cannot really do that because there's really nothing on it yet. So this is the move tool. From the name, it's used to move like an object from one place to another. The scale tool. The scale tool is used to scale, make it bigger, make it smaller, right? Frame tool. Now, if you click on this tool, you see the frame. You see that there's a drop down below beside everything, so you can click on the drop down to see extra things, right? But then let's just stick to frame for now. Now, what is frame? Frame is basically the size of what you want to design for. And Figma has made it easy such that, okay, if you are designing a mobile app, you're going to be using a mobile screen, right? You can choose the size. You can just come to phone here, choose the size you want, iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro Max, iPhone 13, blah, 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 blah. You choose an iPhone 13, just click on it. The size of iPhone 13 comes out, and then you can start designing on this frame, right? Same goes for, go back to frame, for if you're designing for desktop, right? MacBook Air, they take a liking for Apple, MacBook Air, this and that, and desktop, right? So just click on desktop or whatever size you really want to go for, depending on how you're testing and different other criteria, right? So we go for that. So you can see mobile, uh, desktop. We also have TV. We also have tablets here. You see Surface Pro Mini. Presentation, that's if you're trying to create a presentation. Watch, if you're designing for smartwatches, paper, social media, if you're doing social media posts and all of that. And yeah, you can find other plugins from the Figma community. So let's just stick to this. And you wonder, why do we have all this frames, like we have phone, we have tablets, we have desktop. When you are designing, you need to design across platform. That's what is called responsive design. As if something that is working on your laptop should also work on your phone. But the way you see it on the PC is not the same way to show on the phone, because they are different sizes, right? So whatever you are designing for desktop, you scale down to phone. That's why most times when we design, we start from desktop, then move to tablets, then we move to phone, then we move to smartwatch or watch basically. So we scale down like that because it's harder to scale up going from phone to tablet to desktop. And we even design for, we have bigger monitors, like monitors that are very big, or TVs that are very big, so you can extend that for whatever you're designing for. Let's say, I think there's a standard, I think 2065, and you can design for something as big as this. So you don't want it's very like tricky coming from a very smaller size to a big size, but it's easier coming from a bigger size to a smaller size. So I hope you get that and it's not confusing. So yes, basically that's frames in Figma. Figma has made it easy to have frames. So from frames, we are moving to objects. Now you can see this is a rectangle. Just follow my mouse, please. I hope you can. If you have any problem at any point in time, just unmute and just let me know. Uh, Unmute and just let me know. What am I using to record the session? It's called Screen Rec. I downloaded it. It's online. It's very free. Just download it. It works like that. So right. So anytime you don't understand what I'm saying, or you need to draw my attention to something, just unmute and let me know. Right. Thank you. So yes. So this is shapes. Now you draw a lot of shapes when designing. So we have rectangle. If you click on this little drop down here, you can see line, arrow, eclipse, which is like circle. They don't call it circle because you can draw some that are like not perfect circles. So eclipse, polygon, star, and you can include an image. So like if I click on rectangle, I can draw a rectangle. You can see the rectangle here, and this portion here, you can see that let me show you something. Let me just remove this from here. You can see this iPhone 13 Pro Max, this is it here. This desktop, this is it here. And this rectangle, this is it here. So if I bring the rectangle into the desktop, it now enters the frame, right? Because the desktop is a frame, right? This rectangle enters into the frame. A frame cannot enter into a rectangle, right? Don't let me just confuse you. Basically, when you do anything inside your frame, it start loading up inside. So let me just do one or two things. Let me write the text. This is text. Let me write UI, UX. So that's small, but it's there. So you can see everything start coming into the frame, right? And then I can collapse the frame here. You can see that everything is inside this one frame. So everything inside this frame is together as a property, right? Together as a property. So that's it. So what other tools do you need to know? So right here at the right hand side is the properties panel. So if I click on the rectangle, the properties of the rectangle show here, and then you can adjust and work on the rectangle as you like. Like this at the top here is like the alignment. If I click on this center align, it moves to the center. You can see that. I can change the color here under fill, change the color to red. Right, that's burning my eyes. You can add stroke. Stroke is like borders around it, right? You can add stroke, increase the size of the stroke, add effects like drop shadow. Let's make a very, very whack drop shadow. You can add a drop shadow like that. And so basically this is where you see properties of all the elements, like texts too. If you come here, you can see the properties of the text here. You can change the font to something weird, change the size to something overly big, and just move from there. So that's basically everything in Figma that you need to use. This is the hand tool used to pan through the desktop like the canvas without moving anything. You can also achieve that using your space bar. Achieve that using your space bar. Your space bar can also do that for you. So you hold down space, it works, right? So this is comments. This is Figma is known for collaboration, right? Project managers, clients, designers, developers all can all collaborate on the same file. right? So if you are a client now, you're telling a designer to design something, and you're like, "What is this color?" You can just come here and click on comment and say, "Red is not a brand color. Make it beige." I mean, and then everybody can see it, and you can also tag someone, and you can share your file here. You can see this share button here, and share your file. Click, write the person's email address, and share it. Right, that's done. And you can see this little toggle beside the share is toggling between dev mode and designer mode. Right, Figma has become so advanced, they added a dev mode. Right, so if you click on dev mode, it helps. It's like a place for developers, right? So it helps them to see, helps them to inspect codes, and a lot of things like that. So yeah, so let's get out of dev mode. It's in beta, so when they say something's in beta, that is, it's still, it's not finished work yet. They just launched it so that you can get feedback and all of that. So yes, let's move to designing. We'll spend 20 minutes doing all that talk. Right, so what we want to design today is a landing page. Not necessarily a landing page, but the hero section of the landing page. So let's move there. So you can see here is a landing page. I got it from the community tab. Right, the community is here. Community is here. And so if you click on that, you can always see the community. And if you go to the home screen, you can also access the community from there. I think if you click here, you can see community. Oh, this is your community profile. So basically, this is the only place you can access community from now. You just click on that. It's, you can explore it later in terms of the Figma. Right. So let's get designing. So this is what we want to design. Just this section, this hero section. Now, what do I mean by hero section? Hero section is the first section you land on when you visit the website. So, for example, which website is there? Give an example of the website. Um, any website. Who has any website in mind? Okay, let me just go to GeekPay. Gig. Okay. So the first page we're going to land to is the hero section. Now, the hero section, because this is where you can grab the attention of the person visiting your page. So this is the hero section of this particular website. This is the hero section, right? This is pretty basic, very simple, and passes the information. Global banking for African professionals, blah 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 blah. If you scroll down, I think this is where the hero section ends for this. How do I know where the hero section ends? You can't see me. Okay, when did you stop seeing me? Oh my god. Let me just. Okay. I'm going to reshare my screen, everybody. Okay. Thank you for pointing my attention to that. When did you stop seeing me? Before I typed the website. Oh, okay. I must have mistakenly um cancelled it or something. Okay, so I believe you can see me now. Okay. So I went to GeekPay's website, GeekPay. Now, let me just reload. Let me just reload. So when you just visit the website, the first page you land on is the landing page. Yeah, basically, but it's the hero section. This particular section we're looking at is the hero section, right? And the hero section meaning that's the first page, the first section, the person, the user is landing on, and you have that time to grab their attention. So all of this is the hero section. Immediately you start seeing something else, this is no longer the hero section. This is no longer the hero section. This is like a testimonial section saying it is trusted by 200k freelancers. This is another section, how it works, right? So this is how they are divided. This is another section, invoice. This is another section, virtual cards. This is another section, features, testimonials, blah 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 blah, FAQ, and then this is the footer. So you already know that the first section you're landing on, is the hero section, and that's what we're going to be designing today. And this here, all this one above, the logo, the navigation, and this is called the navigation, basically the top navigation, because it's on top. There are different navigations. So this is the top navigation. So we are going to move back to our Figma file, and we're going to be redesigning this. We're just going to design this over again. Like we're going to design this over again. This particular thing. So I'm just going to move this Control C to our file. I will name it because I would like to share this file with everybody so that you can also redesign it in your own time, probably after this class. So I'm just going to rename this Ifumsa times ESC. I guess I'm not that's what really comes to my head right now. So let's just move to the side and I'll paste that here. This might take a while. Okay, so we're not designing the whole landing page. Everything here is a landing page. We're just designing this section, the hero section, which you already understand what it is now. So how do we start? Who has an idea of how we'll start? Let me ask that. Because I already said how we'll start already. Like, are you sure? If you have an idea on how we would start, okay, let me not waste our time. The way we start is easy. Just start with a frame, right? We know that we are designing for a desktop, so we start with a frame. So come to frame, come here, click on desktop. This is a very generic desktop screen. Anyone you do here can really fit anywhere. So just going to click on that, brings it out, and let's get started. Okay, right. So let me just reduce this to this size, and okay. So now we are redesigning. Now, what do I mean by redesign? Now, as a new designer, you start to wonder, what should I do? How should I design? What should I even do? They give you a job, okay, design landing page. What should I do? For you to become good, for you to become better, you should do a lot of redesigning. If you see a website that you like, just copy the website and redesign it. If you go, your favorite website is Twitter, redesign Twitter's homepage. Your favorite website doesn't have to be your favorite website. If it just appeals to you, redesign it, right? So we're going to start with this hero section, right? Now for the hero section, we're going to start with a frame. Now you know we've come out with our frame here, like we have our frame here. Now if you click on frame again, you can see that this crosshair, the arrow here changes to a crosshair. Now this cross stuff. So you can draw your own frame. You don't have to pick from the presets, right? So what I want to draw is something that looks like this, right? Just for the top nav. I want the top nav to be in a section of its own. So you can see what I'm drawing, right? And that is where I want our top nav to be. Okay, that's too much. You can always reduce it back into the frame. Snaps in, right? Just like that. That's our top nav. So our logo goes here, our navigations goes in the middle, and then call to action goes to this place. So let's just do that very quickly. So we don't need to create a logo, we just copy their logo. I mean, let's just copy their logo, copy and paste, right? Okay, so quickly, let me talk about grids. I want to quickly talk about grids. Grids are like guidelines. I usually use them. So if you come to layout grid here, click on plus sign. You see grid. I don't use grid. I go to columns. Click on columns here. And for desktop standard, I usually use 12. So you just use 12, and then I add a margin of like 20 to it, or let me increase that to around 60. Right, that's good. So I don't design. You know how on this exam sheet they say don't write on the margin, don't design on the margin. That's like a rule of thumb. Like you can break the rule. Nobody is saying this thing, but it just helps. Right. So we had our navigation. So what do I do? What do we after the logo? What's next? We have home, service, features. These are just text, right? They are normally going to be navigations, right? Normally going to navigations. What do I mean by that? If you come to the GigPay website that we opened up here. Why is my website open? Okay. I see that this, if I click on help, it will take me somewhere. You understand? So they are navigations, right? So if I click on blog, it will take me to their blog, right? So that's what this um means. That's what all this means. They are navigation. So they are just texts, right? So we come to text here. This is text. Click on text. We write our own. I'm just going to write for home, service, products, and features. Just come to the middle here. Home. Okay, you can see that's too big. I'm just going to change my font to Enter and change the size to 16. Right, so I'm just going to write home. Click on text again. You can click on T to get your text. Feature, service, and products. Right. So let me just turn off my grid, and you can see that it is not arranged. I'm going to show you how to arrange it now. But I just want to give okay. From what I was saying the other time, you can see that our desktop file, desktop one here, everything we've been writing inside has been filling into the frame. Everything that comes into this place is going to be inside of it. That's it. I think we should change the name from desktop to hero section. I think that's good. Right. So if your mic is on, just mute yourself. It's kind of very distracting. So what do I do to arrange this? You can move it manually and try to arrange it, but that's very stressful. So what I usually do is I select everything. How do I select everything? You select on one, hold shift, and then select every other thing here. And then you can see these alignments up top. These alignments just align everything to vertical centers, and they are all aligned. And you'd notice that they are not on the same, how do I put it? They don't have equal spacing. They don't have equal spacing. So what I just usually do with my navigations like this is add something called auto layout. Right? I had something called auto layout. Right? So I just click on auto layout here, and it's they all now have equal spacing. And you can see it here. The spacing is showing 67. Right? You can see it spacing is showing 67, and their spacing is equal, and that's what I usually like. Um, and what also auto layout does is that it actually puts everything in a frame and spaces it properly, and that's why we have a frame here. So we have auto layout here. Right, so we have our navigation set, and what's next? These two call to action buttons, right? This one is the primary call to action. This one that is here, and this one that is just text with color is the secondary call to action. So we just do that. So we start with a text. Right. Okay. So I need us to be able to distinguish this from the rest. Like the top nav is not looking different from everything else. So I think we should give the Euro section a color, just a, a gray kind of color, and make this white. Sorry, whose mic is on? Ikma, your mic is on. Can you put it off? Omotolani, your mic is on. Please put it off. Thank you. I don't think she can hear me. Oh. Omotolani, put your mic off. I would not like to kick you out of the class, please. Okay, so yes, let's just continue. So I'm going to add these sections, right? The call to action buttons, right? So we'll start with the text. The first text is login, the other one is login, the other one is sign up. So if you click on Control D, it will duplicate, but it will duplicate on top of it. So you just click and drag it out, right? And then the other one is sign up, sign up. And this one has a green color. Pick that green color. And this one is kind of in a box. You can see that this one is like a button. So how do we create a button? Now I have different ways to create button. I'm just going to teach a very basic way. And that way is using a rectangle, right? You can see this rectangle here. I'll just drag it on top of the rectangle like this, right? But there's a problem. We cannot see the sign up anymore. Now, if you come into this frame, you can see that rectangle is on top of sign up, right? So if the sign up is on top of it, it will show on top of it. It's like someone standing on top of the other. So the rectangle is standing on top of the sign up right now. So you just move that up here, and you can see it's there. But the sign up is it's a green color. So if you come to the properties of the rectangle, click on the rectangle, come to the properties of the rectangle here, you can see this fill. Under fill, you can see click on this box here. Then you can pick a color. I want to pick green. I already picked green before, so I just click on it. And this document colors here, right? And properties of colors, right? You can see that white is on top of the green. The black doesn't really look good on top of it, right? So we just give that text. Click on the text and change the text color to white, right? I would like to reduce the font of the text to about 14. Okay, so that's something. Now you can see that the sign up and the rectangle, they don't have equal spacing. And properties of design is spacing. Equal spacing makes your design look good, right? So you can see Figma is already giving us like guidelines that helps us to like align stuff. So it is there, right? So we can add like a rounded corner to our button right there, and just like magic, our hero section is done. But I don't think this should be this far, right? That's why we have our grid. So if you just turn on our grid, turn it on, you can see still doesn't look bad, right? Let's just move it to the side a little. Right, select everything and then just click on left or right, whatever the case may be, on your keyboard, and it just moves like that. Okay, so moving to the hero section proper. So we can divide this section into two, right? The part with the text and the part with the image, right? This is an illustration, more like not like an image, like an illustration, but you can just call it an image, right? So this is where the text is, and this is where the image is. This is like a marketing message, basically in terms of business, right? Is like this is like an heading, for example. This is an heading, this is a subheading, and this is a call to action button, right? That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be writing the heading, the subheading, and then the call to action button. And when we do that, we're now going to add an image just to uplift the whole look of the design, right? So we're going to start with that. Remember, don't write outside the margin. Don't write outside the margin, right? So we don't have to use this text. We can just say click on text, say become. Should we do all caps? Did we do all caps? Didn't. Become a UI UX designer in 3 months. Okay, that's hash, not three. In 3 months. Now this is too small and this does not work as an hero as a heading. If you from GigPay's website that we went to, let me just go back to you can see how big this is. This grabs your attention immediately. Like global banking for African professionals. This is their heading, this is their subheading, and this is their buttons. They want you to download their application. Do you understand? And this is their other call to actions here. So we have to make that big enough, right? Make that big enough. So we just increase the size. If you click on the text, where do you see the properties? On the right hand side, you see the properties right here. So we scroll down to text. You can use enter, no problem with that. Let's make it bold. Right? Let's make it bold and increase the size. So you can just click on that letter and type in any letter you want if you have a preset size, or you can just use your arrow up button to just keep increasing the size to whatever you feel is good. And I feel I like this, right? 35. Let's add one more, 36. Right, so I just want to break this down. You can see it's on one line. I would like to break it down into two. Let's become a UI designer in 3 months. Okay, I like to increase the size now. So increase the size even more. Right. Okay, so it's on 50, but I don't want 3 lines. I'll just drag it. You can see when you drag, it's readjust this for you. So I want 2 lines. Become a UX designer in 3 months, just like that. And there's a design aesthetics that those who designed this one did here. You can see lesson and insights from 8 years. That from 8 years is in a different color. It just brings out the whole, just give it a whole new feel, like that. So I like to centralize this one. Put that to the center. Good, thank you. So all I just do is to select this part, you know, of the whole image. So I'm selecting in 3 months. I'm coming here to change the color. If you want to change the color of anything or add color, you come to fill. You can see this little box here. Click on that, and I'm going to give it the green color. We already have the green color here. Click on it. But if you don't have it yet, you can move around the color palette to choose whatever color you want. Um, Change here and there, and you find it. But I'm going to be using the green color because we are replicating that, right? So we have our heading set. We need to add our subheading. We're just going to copy their subheading. I don't want to come up with anything from top of my head. So let's copy that. Um, so you come to text. You want to write the subheading, right? Just be sure that the size is okay. So we have the size at 16. Just paste the text that we have. It's not compulsory. Now, when you are designing, you might also wonder, where do I get all this text from? Am I the one that's going? I'm not a copywriter now. Where should I get all this text from? Most companies have their own copywriters, right? And then you just use lorem ipsum text. What I mean by lorem ipsum text is like a placeholder text. It does not have to be like accurate, right? Just use that, and then when you're done designing, the copywriters will come in and you know adjust it for you. And actually, some UX designers actually learn copywriting, so they use it as a skill. So when they finish designing, if the client doesn't have, or the project manager or whoever doesn't have a copywriter, they just offer them as an extra skill. So as an extra skill. So when you finish designing and they've paid your money, you now tell them, okay, you can do the copywriting for them, and then you do the copywriting for them, and then they pay you your money. So it's just a way to get extra money for some designers. So that is that. I want to move it closer to this. Just use your up key on your keyboard and it moves closer. Now I'm being very crude with the way I'm teaching it because I want it to be as easy as possible. I'm trying not to use any jargon, any UI UX design term and all of that, just to make sure that you just get the concept of using Figma. What we are just doing is knowing how to use Figma. This is not the best way to go about it if you want to be a UX designer, but this is like something. And that is why after today, we do not have any other live session. I'm going to be taking you through a 30 days of UI design. I'm not going to be monitoring it so much, but I already have a Notion page that you can tap into from the beginning to tell you detailed about UX design and careers in UX design, and then take you through how to use Figma step by step and all of that. So, but that 30 days is not even enough. You have to still do things on your own and become a better person if you really want to go in career. So, right. So we've done that. What is the next thing? Is the button, right? So let's add this button. You can see that we already created a button here, but let's create another one. That one is too small for our hero section. So let's start with the rectangle this time. So click on rectangle, draw your rectangle and give it the size you want. I want a button this big, right? I'm going to change the color to green. So instead of going to fill and doing all of that, I can just click on I, and I gives me this eyedropper tool, like eyedropper tool. Not I like EYE dropper tool, but then the shortcut on your keyboard is I. That's I. So it gives you this eyedropper tool, and then you come here, click on that, and then color changes. I want to add a corner radius of about 6. So you can see what the corner radius have done, given the corner radius. And I'm going to write the text on top, just like that. Click on it, you can see the text come up. Text is on top of the rectangle. So REGISTER, register, right? If you select the two of them, you can, if you want to select the two of them, you can hold on shift and select, or just anywhere in your canvas, just like this, and to select both of them. right? And you can come to this alignment here, do this, do that, right? And you have that. So I just removed the stand. So we are getting there. I believe this looking bigger. Okay, yeah, it's accurate. So you can see we are getting there. Becoming a UX designer in 3 months. So we have this already. So what is left basically in our hero section is this illustration. Now you can have any illustration you like. The company might give you pictures. If it's your personal project, you can find pictures from sites like Unsplash or okay, it's still good. Oh yeah, Google is already reminding us we have 15 minutes left. Okay, we are almost done though. So we have sites like and all of that, Zells and all of that, and all these sites have plugins in Figma. What do I mean by plugins? Plugins are like extensions to make Figma more accessible or inclusive. I don't really know the English to use here, but it makes Figma more powerful, right? So like Unsplash is a website for pictures, right? So Unsplash has a plugin on Figma where you can actually get pictures in your Figma directly instead of going to Chrome, then searching Unsplash, then looking for the picture you want, then downloading it, then importing it into Figma before using. Here you can just, let's say I want my, click on frame. I'm drawing my own frame myself. I put on my grid. I want my picture to take this amount of space in my frame, right? So I right click, I go to plugins. Actually, you need to install these plugins, but I already have them pre-installed. Go to plugins, I go to saved plugins, I look for Unsplash. Right, Unsplash is a website, but then they have a plugin on Figma. So click on Unsplash. When you click on Unsplash, basically the plugin is going to load. I think that's what is happening. Plugin is supposed to load. Okay, so you can see running on Splash. So instead of going to their website to download the picture I want to use, then importing it here, that I don't need to do that. I'm just going to write designer. So it should give me a picture of a designer or an illustration of a designer or anything basically. So you can see this person doesn't really show what I want. This one is showing what I want. So I might use this, I might use that. So I think I should just use this one. So just click on it. As much as I have my where I want it to go selected, it loads, and in like 3 clicks, I already have the picture where I need it, rather than going to download it on their page and on their website and then bringing it here. So that's basically the usefulness of plugins, right? You might also ask, where do you get illustrations like this? There are other plugins used for illustrations like that. I have one, Artify Illustrations. I also have another one here called Story Sets by Free, right? And I also have another one literally called Illustrations. So that is it. So basically, our landing page is done, and this is what some people get paid 100,000 naira for. Okay, so this is it. But basically, what people get paid for is the experience, right? So not just knowing it. So we need to align it. This is not how I would have done it if it was for a client or for my project. I'm doing like this because it is for learning purposes. Because I'm teaching people who have not done it before. That's what I assume. I know some of you have done it before. I'm doing it for people who have not really done it before, right? And easily you've created something, and it's really good. What I would normally do is to like select this button and add it into a frame of its own, right? And what I usually do is right click, come to frame selection, and then the button is framed. I can select on everything and add. You can see this here, it gives it equal spacing. I would usually add an auto layout, right? And this frame of picture, I could add a round corner just to make it follow the aesthetics of the old page, right? What else is possible? I would also add accents, just to make everything look good. But basically, this is how a landing page looks like. I mean, this is how a landing page looks like. Let me just play it for you, and then you can see. What am I doing? I'm not playing it. I'm presenting it. When you present it, is like it's a feature in Figma that shows you how it would look on the web, right? It's like you are previewing your design. So it is loading. and come up anytime now. Okay, so it is showing on a frame for phones. I don't know why. So let me just adjust that quickly. Come down here, prototype. Show prototype settings. Okay, none. Thank you. Then just refresh that and then it shows up. So this is like previewing your design. So this is how it is. You can see it here. The logo, the navigation and everything, my image, my buttons and everything. So basically, you can make something clickable. You know, we're talking about prototyping yesterday. You can make something clickable, but that's for another, another lesson and all of that. So right, so basically that is it with designing today. We've designed the home page, the hero section, and that's everything I want to show you for today. I hope you learned something. I hope you were, yeah, the fire in you is burning and you want to learn UI design and use it as a career, I hope. And yes, if you have any questions, this is the time you can ask me. Ask me any questions before our time runs out here. Ask me any questions and we'll take it up from there. And I hope you enjoyed the session. If you don't have any questions, just type that. Yeah, it was a nice session. I enjoyed the session. I learned at least something. All right. So at least if you not learn anything today, you know what an hero section is. If they call you waking up in the midnight, you know that. What is an hero section? You know what it is. Okay, sorry, I did not get how I added an auto layout. Okay, so the auto layout is basically here, right? So if you want to add auto layout to anything, basically two elements. If you click on them, if you click on the element here, you can come. So let's say auto layout is not added, and let me ungroup this. Let's say I want to add auto layout to these three. Auto layout is a very very um good. That's not the word I'm looking for, but good should do feature. Very powerful feature basically on Figma. Right? It helps in a lot of things. But how did I add it? If you want to add it, you can see auto layout here. When you click on anything, I think the only thing you can click on that auto layout will not show is you are clicking on only a text. You are clicking on only a text, auto layout will not show. But then you can click on everything here. Then you can see auto layout here. Auto layout. You can just click on this plus icon and voila, auto layout is added. As simple as that. I hope you got that or more. Can the Euro section be done on a phone aside a PC? Yes. As I mentioned in the beginning, when we design, we usually start from PC, that is the desktop version. But we now scale it down to a phone version because not everybody is viewing a website on their phone. Right? Not everybody viewing your website on their phone. So you can pick a phone frame and design it. So instead of now using something like this, we'll now use like those three lines or three dots, and then to now show the menu exactly. That's what we'll now use because this cannot show on a phone. This is too big, or this is too big for a phone, right? We'll use that, and then you can have the so it can be anything that can be designed for PC, for phone, for watches, for anything, basically. So before you okay, yeah. Thank God that's good. I answered the question. Can the Euro page be designed on phone laptop and PC? Yes, it can, Deborah. And yes, any other question for me? Okay, so it's not compulsory to have question. Now, if you have any other question, you can message me personally. You can drop it on the group. You should even message me, and I could save your number so that we can keep up talk from there. If you have any problem while you're designing, or if you have any career questions or anything, I'm really like ready to help in that area, right? So tomorrow or the next, most likely tomorrow, I'm going to drop a link for a 30 days UX design, like a crash course where you're going to do most of the work, right? So you're going to follow it. There's going to be articles, going to be videos for you to watch, and you just keep moving from there. It's a very nice way to start. You don't have anything to lose. If you're on holiday, just use the time to do it. If you're not on holiday, you can really then just you really don't have anything to lose, right? You're not paying for it. It's free. And I'm just going to create it for you. Articles and then like videos on YouTube that you can watch and everything for 30 days. And before you know it, after a month, you're already a champion and you said you don't wire you dollars. Right. So if you have any questions, you can ask on the group, ask me in my DM, career related, design related, life related. I'm a life coach. I'm a life coach. I'm just joking. But yeah, basically that. Thank you so much for being here today. I really enjoyed the session. I don't know if you do. I hope you did. Thank you so much. If you are looking for yesterday's session, is on the group. Go to the link on the YouTube, like on the place, and check the YouTube session. I recorded this. This one is also going to be on the YouTube page if you want to watch it again. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you don't want to see the red and green of my eyes, because it's not going to be funny, right? So thank you so much, everybody. Have a very wonderful evening. Bye bye. Nobody's telling me thank you. Everybody's just going. Ah, you people just breaking people's hearts.